As a man who's been in this industry for nearly, sort of, as you say, 40 years, have you seen this big change is actually happening now?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's one of the exciting parts of the energy equation now. The change and the transformation is more rapid now than it has ever been.
Any time in your career?
At any time, without exception. I think privatisation, there was a large step change in the way that people view, particularly those in the industry, viewed the industry itself and how it had to be organised. And I think the EMR, as you say, it had again another large step change approach. But the approach now and the conditions in which we find ourselves now, it's a period of rapid and continuous change. And if you look at the deployment of renewables, for example, and the way in which the old regime of power station to plug point has simply evaporated. And I think the whole system is so much more complex now than ever before. So those who are in there wanting to generate or transmit or distribute or manage energy systems are finding it rather more exciting, perhaps, than the passive systems of old.
Are they not finding it more challenging as well?
Well, they are finding it more challenging, but I think, you know, if you look at the technology development through that period of time, technology exists that enables that to happen. But for me, this is one of the most exciting times in the industry, and to be honest, I wish I was 20 years younger.
When you look at the change, how would you sum up? What do you think is the biggest driver? Because some would say, even 5-6 years ago, it was a big kind of, we want to go low carbon because it's good for the environment. I think that's slightly died down in my personal view. What do you think is the driver for this revolutionary change?
I think you can't ignore the carbon equation. I think that clearly is part of a low carbon economy. But if you look at the way in which energy is consumed, or energy is generated and then consumed, you look at the amount of energy that is lost in the supply chain from natural resource all the way through to consumption. Around 80% of that disappears before it gets consumed. And that's lost in having to build power stations, it's lost in efficiency of coal-fired power stations, gas power stations, nuclear power stations. So that whole equation is something that really needs to be tackled. So it is about what do we need to do in order to make that whole supply chain more energy efficient. So that's the generation piece. But then you've got the consumption piece as well. There's the drive to save energy. If one can save energy, one doesn't therefore need to generate it. And the more you can do in that piece, the better.